What is going on, YouTube? Patrick here. It's Saturday, so it's time for some live thrifting. We're going to go to a Savers and then a couple Goodwills and maybe a Salvation Army. We'll see what makes it into the footage. Let's get to it. So here we are at the first stop of the day. This is the Savers in Manchester, Connecticut. That's where we love to start. I found more of my good stuff here at the Savers than pretty much anywhere else. As soon as we get inside, Amber and I headed directly to the back. Electronics. That's still one of my favorite categories to sell in, and you can see we're not alone back here. Kind of the good news, bad news of it is that there's not really a ton of stuff on the shelves. You can see me checking out this little portable DVD player. I probably need to check into these again and see if the value has gone back up on them. It had come quite down for a long time, and haven't really checked into it again for a while. Over to some live audio now.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, you can do that. Good one. Not much over here today, huh? You want to do kitchen, or do you want to go to the toys?
Toys.
Let's do toys. What do you think's in that bag?
The bat bag. Look at the little baby.
It is snowshoes.
Oh. Look at the little baby.
That one's cute.
So now we're over in the toys section like Amber suggested. I'm going to get ambushed by one of my friends who works here in a second to give me some good advice. But right, I always like to come to this Savers toy section because most of the time there's a lot of stuff on the pegs. Right? Even though if I don't really find a ton that day, I always do like looking through everything, and it's kind of fun to show you guys what everything we're seeing as well.
Good, how are you?
You find anything good so far?
Not yet. But hopefully, it's early.
Oh, you never know. It's that one find.
Yeah, we jump into the business.
What's the number? It should say like INF something.
Where would it say it? Model? Oh, INF, yep.
Yep.
803.
What are the last four digits?
2385. It's for Xbox 360.
All right, we're looking for 7059, so I can stay here.
Okay.
And I kept a picture of it this time.
So I have had the hardest time remembering which of the portals it is. Finally, I just wrote it down in my phone so that I would know what it was going forward. So yeah, you may have also heard my friend give me some advice. She was talking about, like it's always important to stay positive, and that's honestly a pretty big thing in my life too. I'd always try to stay positive with everything and try to encourage those around me to stay positive. It's so easy to get negative.
Oh, there's a C-3PO in there.
Oh, I see him.
I'm gonna get it just for that C-3PO, I think, just because that might be vintage. It looked vintage.
So yeah, it was definitely a vintage, like Empire Strikes Back C-3PO with detachable limbs from 1980. Honestly, you guys, I still have mine from when I was growing up, right? From 1980 when it first came out. My sister and I both got them probably for Christmas, maybe for our birthdays that year, who knows? But love to see it, love to find it. There were a few other Star Wars figures in the pack, as well as a He-Man figure, which was very surprising actually. None of it worth a ton. The C-3PO was the most valuable thing. Our next stop here in the toy store was to go over at the shelves of stuff. And I see a lot of other folks at the thrift stores digging through stuff, and I like to do that too. But you can kind of see, like, at this point in the day, everything's kind of organized and really easy to see what's on the shelves. And honestly, there just wasn't a ton of stuff that day, right? I'm always kind of checking the board games as well. I saw a board game up top that I had meant to look up when I was there. Probably could have made a little bit of money off of it. I'm sure you guys saw it as well. It was one of those bigger boxed items. The hard part with those is that a lot of times a lot of the parts are going to be missing. And so I should have pulled it down and checked. I didn't. I was just kind of getting dejected, right? I was feeling bad because there wasn't a lot of stuff on the shelves, like just not finding stuff. So not staying as positive as I said I should. My next stop was to head over to the kitchen goods. First stop is the appliances. Honestly, you guys, I have done really well in these kitchen appliances the last few weeks. So yeah, no surprise that today there wasn't really a lot of stuff up on the shelf. You'll see me pull out a little electric carving knife here in a second. But honestly, that was like the most interesting thing I saw. I'm always looking for blenders. I'm looking for space maker, coffee makers, space maker toaster ovens, and even the what do you call them? The can openers, right? All that kind of stuff. You saw me find one of them last week that was brand new. It was crazy. And today, just one of those days where there's not a lot of really interesting stuff on the shelf. Heading around the corner now, I'm going to pick up something that's pretty good. There is a Nordic Wear, and it is brand new. They want $5.99 for it, right? So not like a bad price at all, especially when it's brand new. This one's going to sell probably about $30 free shipping, so not going to be making a ton of money, but it's good for Nordic Wear, honestly, you guys. Like most of the time when I sell these, it's like $15 to $20. Anything 30 and up, you're doing pretty good. And you can see now I'm just going to kind of check out the rest of the stuff that's on the shelves. And honestly, right, I'm always trying to be as thorough as possible, but yeah, very similar to the other sections. Didn't really find a lot over here. I will check out the pots and pans when I'm over here looking for some of the better stuff on that side of the aisle as well. But yeah, just we're just about at capacity on the cart for what I found at this Savers. I next headed up here to the front of the store to look at the electronics. They put a lot of these small ones on pegs here, which actually I really like. Like it's a nice way to organize them. I haven't seen this in too many of the other stores, and I kind of wish that more of them would do it. But that being said, like, right, what am I going to be looking for up here? Calculators, right? Looking for the TI 8485. Looking for thermostats, right? I find thermostats here occasionally. I'm looking for iPods. I'm looking for remote controls. You can see there's a Leatherman actually, which is kind of an odd thing to find in the electronics section. And let me throw a comp up there on the screen. Yeah, I was surprised about that too, you guys. I did not realize that used Leathermans had that much value. It's definitely going on my bolo list. Like that one actually is a bolo. Definitely, I've seen these in the past and never really thought they had a lot of money to them. It was one of those things where my dad used to give me one like every couple of years because he got one for free somewhere. And so I never really assumed that there was any kind of value to it. Oh, there's another item that I'm constantly looking for, GPS units. This one was like a Garmin Nuvi. Didn't have the cords. I decided to pick it up anyway. With the cords, probably worth about $20, $25. So not going to be like the best pickup for GPS units. Oh man, I'm always looking for those Wii Mario Kart wheels as well, but $5.99, you're just going to lose all the value is already gone out of it. They usually sell well in bundles for about that much. You can usually get about $5 per wheel that you put in a bundle. Of course, like if you have the Wii and Mario Kart and four wheels and four controllers, you're going to be doing pretty good. You're probably still going to be able to command close to $200 for that bundle. So, right, it's always nice if you need one of those to pair it up with it. But I don't normally tend to collect them from thrift stores in the middle of the winter for $5.99, right? I'm mostly getting them in bundles in the summertime when I'm going to garage sales and stuff. That being said, if I can get them for like $2 or $3 at a thrift store, I'll probably end up picking them up. All right. Oh, there's that Cuckoo Clock that's been there for a couple weeks. If it had been in good shape, I probably would have picked it up. It was super interesting, but it was just beat up, you guys. My next stop was to head back to more of the kitchen stuff again. There was a couple of Starbucks mugs. That one, I don't know. I almost bought it, but just something in the back of my mind was telling me that it just wasn't going to be worth a lot. The one for sure in my left hand there, that one's really only going to be worth maybe $5, something like that. It's just a little bit too plain. People are looking for more like the one I'm holding there, but I think probably it would have needed a lid, something like that. Something just told me just don't buy this, leave it behind.
I was looking for concert t-shirts.
You were?
Yeah.
That's cool.
I didn't find anything.
No?
No.
Some value, but not a lot. Look at these guys. Those are funny, right?
These are funny.
Completely unbranded.
Wow.
Right? I thought that was a nice one.
Yeah.
Everything else is kind of meh today, so.
Yeah.
So yeah, after Savers was kind of meh, we headed over to Goodwill. Amber was feeling a little bit tired, right? She's pregnant. So I went into this Goodwill by myself and headed back to electronics. And sure enough, first thing I see is a combo DVD VHS player. They did want $12 for this, and honestly, you guys, it's not like one of the better models. Only going to bring in like 25 to $35. So I did pick it up, even with that in mind, even at $12. Then I found this CB radio, I think is what it was. I can't remember exactly what it was. And then another Infinity portal, which then by now I had memorized the number for the day. I did carry around that CB radio for a little bit. It may have been an emergency radio. I can't remember exactly what it was. I looked it up. They also wanted $12 for that. It was not worth it at all, you guys. Uh, it was only worth about $12, I think. So they had it priced completely right. But it was interesting, right? So, of course, I do recommend you actually do pick up anything that's interesting, or even some of the stuff that's not interesting, and do some comping. Just take a look at what you can find. And then I came across this bag, which, if you guys can see, it's clearly a camera bag, and it looks like it's going to be a video camera. So I did a quick peek inside one-handed, and now you may or may not be able to see it very well in the footage. I'm looking at preview footage, so it's even harder for me to see what you guys are going to be able to see. There is a Sony camera in there. I'll pop a comp up here on the screen while I'm digging through the bag. Oh yeah, that is a great item to pick up. I Spoilers have already sold this for $110 plus shipping, right? So this one was, I'll have to look it up. Maybe I'll pop it up on the screen here, how much I paid for it. But I think it was around that same like $10, $12. It was like everything in this Goodwill that day was worth about that much. Okay, so of course now I've got so much stuff in my hands, I'm probably gonna have to go grab a cart. Which honestly, you guys, like that's probably a good day, right? Anytime you have to go grab a cart. I'm looking through there on the shelf, a little pet training sensor, right? You put the collar on them, and then there's supposed to be a remote control. Honestly, you guys, I probably would have picked that up, but it was missing the remote control. Any of those dog training, pet training aids can honestly do really well. I have sold a ton of them, especially like the PetSmart stuff. That brand is really good. There's a couple of these original Xbox controllers up there. They're missing the little dongle at the end. And honestly, I've got probably several of those already in my storage unit, just in a bin. Just not worth it for me to pick up, but there may have been some value there. I also saw this little camera sitting here, this little security camera. I looked it up, definitely worth like basically $0, so left that behind. Yeah, you can see that's where I cut the video so when I was comping it. There's also like a pretty nice looking printer there in the middle of the shelf. If it's laser, there's definitely going to be some value for that as well. I usually try to stick to smaller form factor goods just because that's kind of more my business is smaller stuff. But yeah, we're looking for cameras. We're looking for the DVD VHS players, right? And yeah, the printer is only a little bit bigger than the DVD VHS, but still, it's big enough with enough moving pieces that I'm going to leave those behind most of the time. I did include some footage here of all of the no, the regular board game section here, because there was honestly a lot of stuff. And if you've watched any of my previous videos, one of the things I'm trying to get ready for is Amazon, right? I'm trying to break into Amazon this year. That's my main goal. And so what I ended up doing is going through all the stuff that was sealed and scanning it to see if it was actually going to be worth it on Amazon. I didn't actually find anything, of course not. But that puzzle there looked pretty interesting. Just wasn't worth it though. Around the side though, I did see Ticket to Ride up there. It ended up being Ticket to Ride Europe. Popped it open to see if a lot of times what I found is that these are going to be open but new inside, and the hard part was that they did want $20 for it, which is even a little bit more than you can get for it on eBay. So it would have maybe been worth it if the pieces inside were sealed. And of course, as soon as I opened it up, I dropped all the paperwork all over the floor. Oh man, don't you guys hate that? I'm sure maybe I'm the only one out there that's a little bit of a klutz, but man, I feel like I'm always dropping stuff. Over here, I did spot this Titanic game. If you guys can believe it, I honestly did sell this version of this game recently. My friend Liz had been helping her parents out, and they had it. So I picked it up. It was $1.99, I think. Maybe it was $2.99. Not sure if all the pieces are in there yet. I haven't gone through it. My guess is going to be no, But I don't know. I figured it was probably worth it if I could get $30 for it, which I could, if it's complete. We'll see. We'll see. That was new to me. I hadn't seen the baskets in this Goodwill before, where they had all those different cards in there. And honestly, I probably should have spent a little more time digging through it, but you know how it gets, right? You start to get that panic of I got to get through all of this stuff. I want to get to more thrift stores this day, right? That's always the ongoing concern. Is I want to be able to go to every thrift store possible and try to see as many items as I possibly can. That robot was kind of interesting. I spent probably too much time looking at it though. Next stop was over to the kitchen stuff, which I don't like quite as much, but I did like seeing the whirly pop there. That makes excellent popcorn, you guys. All right, we decided to head over to a Salvation Army, not one of our normal stops, and you guys, the shelves were not bare, but it was bare adjacent. Just shocking how little stuff there actually was in the store this day. But you can see now I'm looking at the video games here. And honestly, there's a lot more to look at than I thought there was going to be this day. I did know that there's usually some good games here. There's Call of Duty Black Ops. I was thinking it was for the PlayStation 3 for some reason, so I picked it up because I was going to pair it together with Black Ops 2, actually. It was not. It has a little bit of value by itself, but not a ton. Oh, Godzilla. There's a good one. I'll pop a comp up for that one right here. We're going to get into a little bit more live audio first.
What'd you find? You found a skateboard?
Yeah, but it's nothing like crazy.
Yeah. No more lens.
This is interesting.
The old, it's a word processor.
Yeah.
I mean, they definitely have value if they're working. Wood protection package. Okay. I saw that.
Looks like the battery is missing off of this one.
Yeah. I would say no.
Yeah, it's not like hiding in here.
Yep. That means they probably took it out. What is that thing there?
This is
Is that a motherboard? It's a motherboard. $65. What do they think we're made out of money?
yeah.
So yeah, that was not the best of the stops. Here we are at the this is actually the third Goodwill of the day, I think. We skipped the other one for video because there just was nothing. And you can see we're having a little bit of snow here in Connecticut at that point. So that's lots of fun. We're probably going to have a little bit more snow before winter decides to be over. So much like the other stores that I've been to, of course, I head to the electronics first here. This is another Goodwill where I have done really well in the past, but it's also like super hit or miss. I was wondering what that was on the top shelf, so I pulled it down. It ended up being a record player, which I was a little bit surprised about. But yeah, what are you going to do? Sometimes you find strange stuff, right? I guess I should probably have comped it. Who knows? I figured that it probably didn't have a ton of value though. And you can see we were actually here. I think it was ended up being like 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And honestly, you guys, this was pretty picked over. My theory is that if you're not in these stores before noon on the weekend, around here at least, that you're just not going to find a lot. But it's still fun to look, right? There honestly is still a good amount of stuff on the shelves. I'm still going to be looking for Nordic wear, right? That seems to be one of those things that gets left behind sometimes. So if I dig through the stuff, occasionally there'll be just one buried back here. This one looked like it maybe from the sides, and as soon as I picked it up, I was like, nope, super cheap. Left it behind, of course. and just kept on looking, right? Gonna keep digging through this stuff to see if there's anything interesting. But like I said, I did end up finding one thing here, but that was honestly it. I've done pretty well with phones in the last year or so, so of course I checked that phone out, but it was a little older than the phones I like to sell, or if it had been brand new, I may have decided to take it with me. So headed over here into the other section that's more hard goods instead of like kitchen and electronics, and I saw this Dungeons and Dragons game, which yeah, it looked like it had some value. And I'm like, that's really strange that this is here. And you saw me shake it when I picked it up. Yeah, totally felt extremely light. So I popped it open and just kind of looked inside, and I was like, it just doesn't look like there's a lot of stuff in here. So here in a second, I will flip it over and you will see. Look, that's the amount of stuff that's supposed to be in there. It was just like, I don't know if the person who owned it previously had just kept it or if it had been stolen. I don't know. But oh, there it is. The one item we did end up picking up from the store. It was $1.50 for some Nerf darts. I'm going to probably list those for $13.99 free shipping. They may sit for a while, but probably once we get into the summer season, they'll probably do all right. Well, that is going to wrap it up for this week, you guys. And I'm going to talk over Amber and I looking through some more of this stuff here. But honestly, like I said, we did not find anything else. It was just a little bit too late in the day for this particular Goodwill. I am kind of curious if in your area, if the Goodwills have good stuff after afternoon, after 1, after 2. Like, are you able to go all day long and find stuff, or is it like a hard stop like ours is? I'm really curious about that. Leave me a comment down below and let me know, though. If you've enjoyed this content, please do smash that like button. And if you're interested in subscribing, please do so. I try to publish another live thrifting video every Saturday. And I try to do a weekly what sold video every Wednesday and go over like all the items that sold, how much I paid for it, that kind of stuff. And if it's kind of a weird schedule for you, smash that bell icon and it'll remind you when I post a new content. Once again, my name is Patrick, and thank you very much.